So, a video I've wanted to do for a while on my top tips, I would say, on buying a second-hand car. Now, that doesn't mean when you come and purchase a car from me, but it could be anywhere. Maybe a couple of pointers would help some people who might sort of be like a rabbit in the headlights when they go to view a car. I've been there. I've looked at cars, I'm like, ooh, shiny, nice. Let's just buy it and drive it. And sometimes you just need to slow the process down and take a little look around the car in some more detail. So today I just want to show some top tips that I would use when buying a second-hand car. So initially, when you turn up and look at the vehicle, my first thing that I do if I go and look at a car is stop. Take the car in, check the paintwork, check the panel gaps. So for an example of a bad panel gap and a good panel gap, yeah, this one lines up lovely. Bonnet, bumper, nice even gap. Something like this on the other hand, not so good, bit of a gap there. Now, my point of this video is be realistic also with what you're going to buy. I have some people look at cheaper cars and I think they're expecting it to be like brand new. Something like this, which I'm not selling, clearly has had damage, but clearly that will be considered in the price. Now, if you're going to go and spend £5,000 or 6,000, 10,000, 10,000, you're going to want to see a good condition of the car. Now, an obvious sign that the car might have had previous paintwork, which is fine if it's had a little blow in, but you wouldn't want to buy anything that's had major damage, is checking these gaps everywhere. Check they line up, check the paintwork isn't full of orange peel. When I say that, a sort of ripple effect in the paint, you don't want that. And I would say if you do notice that, maybe you want to ask more questions, or you might want to avoid buying the car off the back of that. So we check the paint. Now, what I would personally do is get down low. I'd be checking the tyre depths. Put your fingers in there and hopefully you can feel a nice bit of tread depth on there. And then inside the brakes, if we look at this one here, because there's a few less spokes, you can see this has had brand new pads and discs on it. But if you run your finger up the brake disc and you feel a big lip on the top of that disc, it could be an indication they are ready to be changed. Now, I'm not saying that's the end of the world, because it's not. It's a serviceable item. But it might be something to consider with the price, because pads and discs all round can become costly. We've done the outside, we've checked the brakes and the tyres, now onto the inside. So what I would be saying is, you won't see it from there, check that bolster for a load of wear on the seat. Sometimes you'll see holes there and they're just a little bit undesirable. Then when you jump in, always, well, this one you've got to have your foot on the clutch. Start it up and make sure that no warning lights stay on. That's always a big one, and if there's warning lights on, maybe that's an area of concern. What I would say as well is, when you go and have a look at a car, try and make sure it's cold before you start it up, because when a car is cold, that's when you'll hear the most noises that you wouldn't want to hear. Could have a timing chain rattle, could have a loud whistling turbo, could be smoking. So try and make sure that when you get there, that car has been left from cold, because the warm can hide some issues. So we've started it up, sounds great. We're ready to do the road test. So first of all, make sure you get behind the wheel and drive yourself. If the person selling you the car doesn't let you drive, don't bother. So once you're in the driving seat and you're ready to go for a little drive, the first thing I ever listen for, maybe because I'm sort of zoned in on this, is noises, bangs, rattles. I hate it. If you're going over bumps, you don't want to hear any clunking noises, because that's an indication of suspension components. When you're driving it, make sure the engine sounds nice. It's not whining, it's not smoking completely crazy out of the back of it. Gearbox noises, again, there's no whines, there's no untoward noises coming from that car whilst you're driving it. So you've done the road test, you're back, you're happy. It looks great, drives great, you're sort of making the right direction now of purchasing that vehicle. So when you come back, what I would be wanting to do is have a look at the paperwork. So something like the Mini, you've got all the manuals, all the invoices for previous work carried out on it. The invoice I've had done with it, with the recent service and MOT. So have a look through that and make sure it stacks up. Now, I'm not saying full service history is the be all and end all of buying any vehicle. I have some people ring me up with a van that's done 160,000 miles. Hello, is the vehicle one owner with full main dealer service history? No, it's not. Take into account what you're going to look for, yeah, and how much it is and what has been described in the advert. If someone says it's got full history, when you get there, you'd expect to see it. So you check the history out, you're happy with that. Now, this might go against the grain with some car dealers. I would say I'm sorry, but again, I don't care. When you go and purchase a car, I would always want to see the V5C, the logbook, yeah? So a little bit of a story. A while back, I got asked to sell some cars to someone who had a lot of vehicles around him. So anyway, I went to pick the car up. I said, oh, I've got the logbook. I'm really keen to sell it. I haven't got the logbook. No, don't worry about that. Just take it and sell it as it is. Just tell the customer it's in the post and we'll do a V62 for it. I was like, no, that's not how I do it. Now, I know people do that, but I don't, yeah? Every time someone buys a car from me, they leave here with an email from the government saying they are now the registered keeper. And the reason I can do that is because I've got the logbook with the latest V5 document reference number on there. That's how I carry it out this end. If other people choose to do that different, that's up to them, but I won't. Then obviously the new owner can tax it off the green slip from there and hopefully drive away happy. Right, so hopefully that's helped. I understand buying a second-hand car can be quite a daunting experience. I've had plenty of people come here who have ventured into the car supermarket world and practically been hounded to purchase that car from someone. Listen, when you come here, or I would say when you go and look at a car anyway, there should never be any pressure, and you should be given all the time in the world to check that car out and feel comfortable before you decide to part with any sort of money. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little video and the tips, and if I can help on anything we've got here, apart from the Focus that looks like it's driven through a hedge, I would be happy to help. Thank you.